Based on the frequency distribution, find the relative frequency for the class with lower limit 23. All right, so first of all, we have to understand what is a frequency. These are the classes. The ages are the classes. So we'll make that more general. And the number of students that falls in each age range is our frequency. So their count of how many students fell into each age range class. Now, a relative frequency is where we compare how many students are in each class compared to the entire group of students or the entire sample. So the relative frequency, we'll make a new column for that. We'll just do it for all of these so that we can see how this is done no matter which one. Now they asked us just to find the answer for this one class, but we're going to use the power of Excel to quickly get the answers for all the classes. Just in case we were ever asked to do a whole table, it's not that hard to do. First of all, we need to find the sample size. The sample size is how many students in each class added all together. So we can just use the sum function to add up all the frequencies. And there we see that our sample size, n, is 47. And we're going to use that to answer the next part of our question, which is what is the relative frequency of each class? So we start with an equal sign, then we click on the frequency of that class and then divide by the sample size, which in this case is 47. And then just drag that and copy it down using my copy handle. So again, what I did is I selected the cell that I just did that calculation in, and then I went over the bottom right corner until my cursor looks like a black plus sign, and then I'm just pulling it down and copying it that way. You can also double click it and it'll populate the answer for each cell for each class. And you can change these to percentage since they want the answer to be given as a percent instead of decimal form. We can right click and choose format cells and then choose percentage. And I think the directions said to 1 decimal place, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it 1 decimal place so that's easier when I give my answer. Also, for those who want to learn advanced programming skills, let's say you were setting this up so that you could just change the frequencies and automatically all your answers would come out and recalculate automatically. Well, what you can do is instead of when we do this step where we click on the frequency of the class as the cell and then divide, instead of typing in 47, I can click on the cell containing the sum of my frequency column. And I can make that an absolute reference so that it only ever refers to the cell and it doesn't ever get shifted anywhere. So I'm going to pin it in place by putting $signs in front of the column reference and in front of the row reference. So this is just for those of you who want to experiment with programming in a more advanced way. And then I'll copy that down again. And so what's going to happen now is if I change any of these numbers, let's say I got a new example with different frequencies, then I could just change the numbers here and all of my calculations would recalculate on their own. See, I still have the sum of these cells in this cell, and each one of these calculations is referring to this n for the relative frequency. So it's kind of cool, something you might want to try, but for this problem, you really didn't need it. For this problem, all you had to do was add up these frequencies. You could even do that by hand. 10 plus 11 is 21, plus 3 is 24, plus 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32, plus 1 is 33, right? So you can just add them up by hand. These are the original values they gave us. So 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 9 is 25, plus 3 is 28, plus 9 is 37, plus 10 is 47, right? So you can just add them up. And then it said only in the class that had the lower class limit of 23. So that was this class. So then all you would do to answer this question is do 9 divided by 47 and then just change that to a percentage. You can just multiply by 100 to move the decimal place over 2 places. So our answer is 19.1%.